Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Patreon podcast. This week I wanted to talk about trying to skirt around post-project depression. This is something that I've talked about in the past, or post-project depression is something I've talked about in the past, where you focus so much time on trying to finish something that when it's actually finished and out the door, your brain still is in the habit of thinking about it, but it's no longer something that you're actively working on. So you get into this weird kind of depressive state where you want to work on something that no longer exists. And this happens pretty much all the time for every project. The amount or the depth of the post-project depression really kind of depends on how long you're working on it, or really how focused you are on finishing it. Like for releasing the season albums of the 2-hour track challenge, it bums me out for a little bit that it's over and done with, but for the most part, it doesn't bother me. When it comes to releasing Let the World Forget Us, which is an album that came out very recently for me, that is something that I was very worried about when I was working on finishing it. Because it's something that I started in 2021. It is almost 2 full years later, and it's finally done and out there. And I focused extremely hard in April, May, and most of June to get it done and out of the door and out of my brain. And now that it's out of my brain, like, how do I deal with that? The first thing that I've tried doing, or I've tried doing this for the first time, and that is going on a very brief vacation. Basically, leaving my computer at home and going somewhere else for 2 days. My wife and I went up to the Upper Peninsula of Michigan because we love it very much up there, and it's nice and relaxing. And we had a little bit of a vacation, and it was very pleasant. And honestly, I feel like it helped me skirt around a lot of the depression relating to that, because I released the album on Friday, and I left Saturday morning. Like, I did not have any time to really think about what I could be doing with my time now that the album's not like my focus anymore. I didn't really get to worry about anything else. I just had the album finished and I left. And honestly, I think that worked pretty well. Like, I still sit at the computer, like, now that I'm back, I'm sitting at the computer and be like, okay, well, I can work on this. Oh, wait, no, I can't work on that because it's out and it's done. It's like, but for the most part, like, I'm focusing on the next project now, and I'm not worrying as much about how to, like, I broke that cycle in my brain that was like, oh, you have to think about this for another, whatever, 2-3 weeks because it's super important, and I don't have to worry about it, and it's great. If you don't have the ability to take a vacation, I would suggest, like, trying to step away from your phone and step away from your computer or your production area. Like, take a vacation from your studio for a day or two. One of my friends talks about something called what is it? It's like a dopamine detox, where your brain gets so focused on a particular thing, and that thing brings you joy, and then all of a sudden that thing goes away, and then, like, you're just sad all the time because you want that thing. And even though, like, I can't say that working on the album brought me a ton of joy near the end, like, I just wanted it to be done, I really loved working on it. And the fact that it's no longer, dripping that dopamine into my system, into my daily life, like, I have to find another way to get that. And the dopamine detox is a way of just, like, stripping out all of that, where, you're not viewing YouTube, you're not doom scrolling on Twitter, you're not doing anything, you're just sitting there kind of detoxifying yourself from that stream of dopamine that you had during the project. And I think this is also very valuable. And it also goes back to the theory I have about taking a vacation after you finish something, because it gives you that opportunity to detox a little bit. And I think that it's really important to try it. I can't say that I completely got around the post-project depression, but I think I did all right. Maybe I'll get hit with it a little bit more early in July, when the album is officially released on streaming or something like that. But I think that for the most part, I got around it. And I think that it's really important to be aware of that, because like any project has this risk, you know, and you want to make sure that when you finish something that you're taking into account that this could happen. Oh, excuse me. My voice got really dry all of a sudden. But I think that this is the right avenue for me, and like by no means am I saying that I solved this problem, but I think that I have a better understanding of how this problem functions, and maybe in the future I'll be able to kind of mitigate this this issue in a more efficient way, because man, when I finish some things and I put them out there, they really kick my ass. And it would be good to not have my ass kicked. So I think that's it. I just really wanted to talk about this because it's something that I realized. And also like a good way to dopamine detox is just to drive for 6 hours, because there's nothing to do but like listen to music or talk. You can't watch YouTube while you're driving, or it's not recommended anyway. So yeah, I just wanted to talk about this because this is something that popped up in my life very, very recently, and I wanted to get it out there. So that is it for this one. Thank you guys so much for listening, and thank you so much for being a Patreon supporter. I really do appreciate it. I hope that you have a fantastic Friday and a wonderful weekend. And I'll talk. Oh my gosh, what's wrong with my voice? I'm gonna log off. I'll talk to you later. Be remarkable.